Okay, welcome to today's tutorial. We're going to be looking at one of the potentially more common experiences that you're going to have building websites, building funnels, and this is something that might be a occasional event for you, and it might be something that happens very regularly. And if it's occasional, it might be setting up something that is for the longer term and then going to run ads, different ads into that. Or you might be running test funnels all the time. And so every month or every 2 weeks or even every week, you might be running through a similar process. And so using a magic board for this is extremely helpful because it brings out the ability to have a very clear production line. I want you to think of the magic board kind of like an assembly line that Henry Ford pioneered 100 years ago. And that is that there's a number of steps that we go along and eventually the outcome is whatever the assembly line produces. In this case, it's a completed funnel. Now, this can be very complicated. If you don't have vision on what's going on, then what happens is people can't see what the next step is. They can't get access easily to the back end of the software to install the copy. They don't even have access to the copy. They're using email to track the copy. Things get changed, things get lost, and this means that the overall production is very slow. So we're going to have a look at what this could look like for you. And the first thing is, well, why don't we jump in and have a look at the Magic Board software and I'll run you through that. So let's share up my screen now. And okay, great. So now we can see what's going on there. Let me just maximize that. Okay, sweet. All right, so you can see my screen. And here we have a brand new Magic Boards account. So you can see up here, create your first board. But one of the ideas that we might start with just in this is a fast start. And we'll have a look and call this sales. So typically funnels or website experiences are going to be part of selling. So let's call this new funnel or funnel build. And we'll give it a due date. We'll say that it's due on Friday. We're going to create that board. Now, this is a blank board. We have nothing on it. We don't have any process. We don't have any groups. And for this experience, what I would recommend is that we think about the results that we're going to need. Now, let's say that we've just got a simple funnel here, and I kind of like to have just a general results one. And then let's think about, let's say that we've got an opt-in page that we're going to send people to. And this would have a place where they can put their email, put in their name, and sign up for something. Let's say then after that, we've got a thank you page, or let's make it a offer page. So we're going to do a one-time offer, and then if they take that or if they don't, there's going to be a thank you page. So pretty simple 3-page funnel here. Opt-in to offer with a one-time offer and then a thank you page, whether they take this or do not. Now, already we've got some structure here. We haven't touched process at all. But let's think about, well, what would we need on this opt-in page? And well, one of the things is that we're going to need a form. And so that wherever that form is in the back end, so let's call that form back end. So we're just building this out, thinking about what we're going to need. We're going to need a page, and this is going to be in the back end. And then from that page, we're also going to need a front end. So this is where I could actually track and look and see what the end user is going to see. So right now I've got a form, a page, and a page back end and a page front end. And then I suppose I need to know what else would, what's going into these. So let's add a couple more things here. Form Google Doc. And that's going to tell me what goes in the form. So I could hand this off to a team member, or I'm very clear on what goes into it beforehand. So I would be working on this first. And then also it would need some copy. So some web page copy. So this is the words and the images. We might just leave it as the words at this point, and Google Doc. So that's again going to tell me what's going to go into this back end. And perhaps even I might track a images folder. So if we did have some images that are going to go in here, and now suddenly from this one page, there's a whole bunch of results. And you might be overwhelmed, or you might suddenly also have a moment of clarity here and go, oh, I can see what's going on. Now, if I had this and had this and had this, and these were worked on and then done, then when it goes to implementation for each of these, for the form, it's pretty easy just to go to that Google Doc and go, yep, okay, we can implement. And then the back end, the same. From that images folder and the web page copy, we've got the back end happening here. And this really makes it very fast. Your team that's building in the software, whatever you're using, whether you're using Go High Level or ClickFunnels or Kajabi or something else, whatever you're using, WordPress, that the ability for them to build quickly is very, very fast because they've got everything they need. They know all the words, they've got the images, they've got the form details. All of these things are done. And so we can see that this would get built out, this would get built out, this would get built out. Sorry, these ones would be built out, and this whole thing would be done. Now, this means that when I come and look at it, I can just click this link here, open it up. When we put in a thing, it's going to have an open there, and it would bring up in a new tab the front end. So when this is all marked done, I can come along as the owner or as the webmaster and check that everything's accurate. What are we going to do? Let's just change this up, and we're going to change these back to not started, update status, so we can update all of those. Yep, didn't work. All right, we got a little bug. All right, that's frustrating. All right, I'll pass that on to the team. Let us know that we got a bug in that one. Not good, but that will be fixed. All right, so coming down, guess what we've got for this one-time offer? Again, we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need a Google web page copy. We're going to need a page backend. We're going to need a page front end. And as I think about this, something may have occurred to you, which is we actually need an offer page. If I click yes to this offer page, then I need an offer. So we're going to actually add that in now. Offer, or checkout page rather, checkout page. So that's going to come up here into here. And once again, we're going to need the web page copy, and we're probably going to need the details. But you can see that the number of results here is quite significant, even though this is a click through to a ClickFunnels or a Go High Level or a WordPress. This is a click on your website. This is a click to the Google Doc or Word or whatever you want to use. But these are all very readily accessible. So we're going to come down, and now our checkout page. So we're going to probably need some kind of offer description as well. What's in this offer? What do you get? Okay, so we'll put that in there. We've got web page copy for the checkout page. We've got offer description so we know what goes in the offer. And at least I'm using Kajabi largely, as well as a little bit of Go High Level, but offer backend. And I'm going to move that down here just so we're clear. Oop. There we go. Okay, offer description, Google Doc. Offer backend, web page copy, Google Doc, page backend, page front end, and then finally with our thank you. So potentially we might even need a thank you purchased offer, and we need a thank you page did not purchase. And this might be the same page, but if you want to take them directly through to where they can get something, let's say they bought something and they need to have immediate access, then we might well have this same experience here. These are not the same experience. But you can see here, by building this out, we now have what was originally thought of as a pretty simple funnel from an opt-in to an offer to a thank you. By thinking through and building this out, not only have we got all of the links that we need to have in order to build rapidly, so one team member could be assigned here to this web page copy, and a second team member would be assigned to building out. But we don't get them to begin until each of these are started. Or we might say, hey, guess what? This one's done and this one's done, get started. This one's now done, get started. And so you could either have everything done, and there are some advantages to that, or you could go ahead and go, yep, this material's done here, let's get after it. So having a look now, we have all of this built out. Now, just a couple of things up here in this results. How I actually like to do this is I like to use Giru to have a link to how the overall funnel looks like. And then I also like to have a Google Doc, which is all copy. Now, what happens with this all copy is that essentially the form, the web page for the copy, for the opt-in, for the offer, for the checkout, for the back end, for the thank you, for these two pages is all in one document. And I begin with that so that I can make any copy changes and have the awareness of what's going to show up here if I change something. So let's say I go ahead and change the offer, but I forget in the opt-in that that's what's going to change, then I'm going to have an inconsistent experience. So before I want to split these, I want to be happy that it's all reads consistently. And then the trick is from there, do not change the copy in the split Google Docs. Or if you do, you have to be aware of where else that is changing. This is a very easy mistake to make, that if you're building these out separately, then making a change to one of them and not being aware of what the impact is. Let's say that you change the offer, but you forget to change the thank you page, there's going to be an inconsistency. And then you have to go back and fix it. And it's better to do all of the work here. So I like the Giru. If you're not familiar with Giru, it's a page simulator, a funnel simulator, very useful. I think it's $67 one time. And then the Google Doc with all copy in it. And I use that and build it all first and then go ahead and split it. So with all of this now, I'm beginning to see a couple of steps here that we could have. So build all page copy. And that might well have a template in it, copy template, because a lot of this stuff, you could use AI as well, AI prompts. Both of those will get to a final document here that we can then edit. So I'm going to now edit the all page copy. And then from there, ensure consistency throughout. And then from there, I can then need to split the documents, and I'm going to assign those to the relevant group. And guess what? We've now probably just thought of one more thing, which is a folder. Because if we've got these Google Docs, then it'd be nice to know where that folder is. So I'm just going to move that folder there. And then from there, essentially, we're going to build the funnel and we're good to go. So this now build all pages, offer, and forms. Okay, so this entire thing now is essentially a highly effective method of building a funnel. And from this, let's say that you wanted a more advanced funnel, and perhaps instead of a one-time offer, you were going to have, say, page 1, page 2, page 3. And there was a dedicated sales page. So let's go call this opt-in to offer to thank you.